Cancer is something that has affected many people. One of those people is third-year St. Thomas student Eva Hendry. She lost an aunt to cancer last summer.
So this is my aunt, Christina.
Aunt Chris, as Hendry calls her, was a sister to Hendry's father, and her battle with cancer started when she was about 30 years old.
And this is actually when she's quite sick. She had been battling cancer for a long time. I believe when she was about 30 or so, it started with breast cancer. And she had like a partial mastectomy, I believe.
Unfortunately, the mastectomy wasn't the end of the battle for the Hendry family.
The cancer had returned years later in her abdomen and just kind of spread from there. And at that point, here in the picture, she had been going through rounds of chemo for 3 years, 3 summers. And she was teaching, not then, but she was teaching through the years when she was going through chemo. And this was her 3rd summer.
In the summer of 2007, Hendry made a trip to Toronto to visit her Aunt Christina. It was then she discovered her aunt would no longer be going through chemotherapy. A year later, in August of 2008, Hendry found out through word of email that her aunt was no longer coherent and was not doing well. The next day, Hendry discovered her aunt had passed away during the night. It was not long after that day that Hendry decided to shave her head for cancer.
I just thought I didn't get to go to her funeral and I didn't really get to have that grieving process, so I thought this would be like a good way for me to kind of deal with that.
Hendry managed to raise some money for the head shaving, but she said that money was not going to make or break her decision.
I didn't make sort of an ultimatum just because I'd already made up my mind to shave my head, so I felt that was kind of like lying to people, saying like I'll only do it if I get a certain amount. So I just asked like friends and family, and they were very supportive, and I raised that money. So.
And while Hendry had made a trip to Toronto in December to visit her aunt's grave and say her goodbyes, the head shaving still managed to help Hendry cope with the loss.
Sort of like a catharsis for me, like letting go and moving on. So yeah. It was exciting and invigorating and thrilling. When they were cutting my hair, it hurt a little because they like had to pull at it, and like I was sad, I guess, because it was such a part of me. But when I was actually getting it buzzed, it just felt really good. Like I was excited, I was glad I was doing it, and yeah, it was like relaxing. I would want to do it again, I think. Definitely. Like maybe if I'm still in school in a couple of years, maybe I will do it again, but I might keep my hair short, who knows.
For Stu Journalism in Fredericton, I'm Corinne Frost.